India has the biggest and most complex elections in the world, with almost 1 billion voters. And how they vote could be about to change completely. The government has an ambitious plan to make the electoral system cheaper and more efficient. But critics say the move amounts to an assault on democracy.
इस बिल के इंट्रोडक्शन पे
This is completely against federalism and the Constitution of India.
This bill violates the right to democratic self-government.
So what is the plan and why would it be so controversial? That is how you know an Indian citizen has voted, an ink mark on the finger. It's worn with pride and it's an icon of India's festive elections. And there are a lot of elections. India's enormous population means that at any given time, there's some kind of voting going on, either federal, state or local, all staggered. The government says holding all levels of election in one go will save both time and money. All elections would then be held only once every 5 years. And a committee on the issue, led by a former Indian president, says that this could increase GDP by as much as 1.5%.
It pains me a great deal that during elections, the country's Prime Minister is compelled to go into a state and speak against the Chief Minister of that state. How can the nation run like this? It's better if the elections all happen together. Everybody says what they want and move forward from there.
The proposal is called One Nation, One Election, and the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party introduced it to Parliament in late 2024. The government says admin costs will plummet and politicians will have more time for their main job, policy making.
The political cycle in India just goes on and on and on. It's kind of unrelenting. Political leaders, including the Prime Minister, including members of the cabinet, spend a lot of their time campaigning in various different elections that happen during the year, during every single year.
But there are long-standing concerns with this idea.
To be able to hold it all at one time, you need the capability. They would need more voting machines, they would need more mechanisms to do voter verifications, etc., which all requires a tremendous amount of money as well as manpower that may not be sustainable or even effective in terms of efficiency or cost.
Now, this isn't the first time simultaneous elections have been tried in India. It was actually how India's fledgling democracy began, and it stayed in place for about 20 years. But back then, there was a lot of political instability, delayed polling, and even assembly dissolutions, which derailed the process. So India moved to staggered polling from 1967. Other countries have simultaneous polls too, like Sweden or South Africa or Belgium. Indonesia last year instituted simultaneous local elections. Even Australia flirted with the idea in the 70s.
If we introduce that into Australia, again, you would probably save some time, some money, but I suspect it would be the case that the states would not want that to happen, because what it would mean is that the campaign would be largely dominated by big national issues rather than by state issues.
But a unique challenge for India is the sheer size and diversity of its population.
The last time a simultaneous election took place was in the late 1960s. The plurality, both in the electorate as well as the political party level, has significantly expanded since then, as has the population as well as the agendas.
The opposition from most of India's southern states in particular has been fierce. States like Tamil Nadu and Kerala have long nurtured some of the strongest opposition to the Modi government in the country. Go Back Modi even trends there on social media when he visits.
National politics is dominated by the Bharatiya Janata Party, the BJP. That's a party which has its roots and most of its support in the very populous northern states. It doesn't have as much support in the south. So those smaller parties in those southern states are worried that if there was just one big national campaign, they would be outspent, out-campaigned. The messaging would all be dominated by the big parties, and particularly by the BJP in the north.
So because the BJP and its allies had absolute majority in the last term as well as the term before that, they had a lot of leverage in terms of implementing policies or passing bills through the parliament without too much fuss. And that is, I think, one of the key reasons why people are very apprehensive about this kind of proposal. The argument is that it would give more autonomy, more power to the central government.
Now, Modi is known for his big policy announcements. And while he has been able to pull off highly controversial proposals in the past, like demonetization in 2016 and GST tax reform in 2018, this one will require 2/3 of Parliament to approve. And the election in 2024 saw the ruling party lose their outright majority in Parliament.
And when talking here about changes, not just to the acts that govern elections, but also to the Constitution potentially. I think the prospects for a change like this were much stronger in the last government, when the BJP was more powerful, when it had more seats in Parliament. But I can see that, it's not an issue that's going to go away.
So by all accounts, it's going to be a hard sell to get 2/3 to approve and amend the Constitution. But a week is a long time in politics, and the next general election is 4 years away. Anything could happen.